Good evening. I'm Byron Pitts in New York. We have breaking news this evening. New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury, according to sources familiar with the matter. Let's go straight to senior investigative correspondent Eric Adams on the phone with the very latest. Aaron, what can you tell us?
Byron, we just heard a statement from Mayor Adams saying, "I always knew that if I stood my ground for New Yorkers, that I would be a target, and a target I became. If I am charged, I am innocent, and I will fight this with every ounce of my strength and spirit." A statement of defiance a moment ago from Mayor Adams to ABC News after word came that he has been indicted by a federal grand jury in New York. Byron, this follows a 10-month investigation into corruption. It began with an investigation into the mayor's fundraising from his 2021 campaign and whether his campaign took illegal foreign money, particularly from Turkey, in exchange for official favors by Eric Adams. And the investigation has more recently ballooned into a broader corruption inquiry involving some of his top deputy mayors and others in his inner circle.
Aaron, we all recall that months ago, I think authorities seized his phone and members of his administration. Is this part of that investigation?
It is, and it was a highly provocative step back in November when federal agents stopped a vehicle outside an event where the mayor had been speaking. They asked his driver to step aside. Federal agents got in the car with him, and at that point seized his electronic devices that were on his person. The mayor subsequently turned over other electronic devices, and in more recent weeks, the feds have raided the homes of two deputy mayors. They've seized the phone of the police commissioner, the school's chancellor, both of whom have resigned. It's not immediately clear whether anyone else has also been indicted along with the mayor, but a number of people in his top echelon of the administration had become subjects of the investigation.
Give us some context about this. These are federal charges against the sitting mayor of the largest city in the United States, New York City. How significant is this, and how deep will this go, do you think?
New York has a long and storied political history, some of it rife with corruption, Byron, but never before has a sitting mayor ever been charged with federal crimes. Mayors have been charged after they've left office, like Rudy Giuliani most recently, because of his entanglements with former President Trump. But a sitting mayor of New York has never been charged with a crime until now. Adams has stacked his administration with a number of loyalists, with people who he is known from his days as a police captain, a number of high-profile individuals, including his chief counsel, had advised him that perhaps some of those people, but he has always remained steadfast and loyal. He has said he has done nothing wrong, and he has known of no wrongdoing in the ranks of his administration. Federal prosecutors, Byron, clearly tonight disagree.
I mean, certainly we'll hear along with the mayor what these charges are tomorrow, but talk about Mayor Eric Adams. He was someone in the Democratic Party seen a few years ago just as a rising star, as you said, a longtime police officer in New York City. He walked the streets. He was a beat cop, rose to captain. And so many saw his ascension to mayor's office as this fast-moving star in the Democratic Party that all now seems at best in jeopardy, if not over.
Oh, he was touted as the new face of the Democratic Party, someone who could be tough on crime, but also sympathetic to many of the social issues that are many more liberal New Yorkers hold dear. And it was an interesting field from which he emerged. A number of those on the left he was able to defeat, arguing that they weren't going to be tough enough to deal with the city, and he faced a Republican opponent in a talk show host who never was able to garner enough public support, and he ran on a platform of getting stuff done. Of late, he has changed the way we take out the trash by making a lot of garbage go out on the curb later so rats don't get to it. He's ordered businesses to get garbage cans with lids. And he has also tried to steer the city through the end of the pandemic, which has, I think, probably hurt his stated agenda a bit the city had to recover financially and also had to deal with what had been a rise in crime.
An historic night in New York politics.
Welcome back to the channel. What is going on with the goings on in New York City? Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Definitely turn on your notification bell so when I get the drop, you get the drop. And thank you for tuning in. Let's get straight into it. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. In a speech addressed to New Yorkers on Wednesday, Adams vowed to fight what he called the entire false indictment with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target, and a target I became. Adams is the city's first city mayor to be indicted. The exact charges remain sealed as of Wednesday night, but the initial investigation expanded from campaign finances to bid rigging and more. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney Office for the Southern District of New York declined to comment. Adams is not expected to appear in court until next week. Adams, a former police captain who was elected as mayor of New York City less than 3 years ago, has spent nearly a year under the cloud of federal investigations. Federal authorities has been investigating the possibility of corruption at City Hall, issuing subpoenas for Adams and members of his inner circle. 2 weeks ago, Adams accepted the resignation of Edward Cabin, his hand-picked police commissioner, after authorities issued a subpoena for his phones. The mayor chief counsel, Lisa, also stepped down. This week, New York City Public School Chancellor David Banks announced plans to retire at the end of the year. Banks had also turned his phone over to the federal authorities. Banks' younger brother, Philip Banks, the deputy mayor for public safety, and Terrence Banks also had their phones seized. David Banks' fiancée, Shiana Wright, the first deputy mayor, had her phone seized as well. Since being elected as New York City's 110th mayor, Adams has been vocal about always following the rules and said he has known of no misdoings within his administration. If I'm charged, I am innocent and I will fight this with every ounce of my strength and spirit. Brian Lander, New York City Comptroller, who is running for mayor next year, released a statement on X following the news of the indictment. First and foremost, this is a sad day for New Yorkers. Trust in public institutions, especially City Hall, is essential for our local democracy to function and for our city to flourish. The hardworking people of New York City deserves a city government and leadership they can trust. Right now, they don't have it. Linda called for Adams to step down from his position as mayor. The most appropriate path forward is for him to step down so that New York City can get the full focus its leadership demands. If Adams were to heed the calls to resign, the New York City public advocate Williams will become acting mayor. Earlier Wednesday, Democrat House Rep. Alexandria Cortez of New York called for Adams' resignation, saying, for the good of the city, he should resign. I do not see how Mayor Adams can continue governing New York City. This is what she wrote on X. The flood of resignation and vacancies are threatening government functions nonstop. Investigations will make it impossible to recruit and retain a qualified administration. Now, if you guys think back, he's the same mayor that gave Sean Diddy Combs the key to New York. And then when the little video came out of Sean acting up, he took the key back. So I don't know if they connected on this or what, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's get it.
He already has the keys to some pretty exclusive places, and now Sean Diddy Combs can add New York City to that list. It's Diddy Day in the city. Videos have been playing on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, and the crowd waited. Then around 11:30, the doors opened for the mayor and the artist.
The bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Today's event coincides with the release of his new album, The Love Album.
New tonight, Sean Diddy Combs responds to Mayor Adams' request to return his key to the city. The ceremonial key was sent back to City Hall after Adams' office sent 2 letters to Combs' companies requesting it be sent back. The mayor wrote that he was deeply disturbed by Combs being caught on camera attacking his then-girlfriend Cassie. Combs was given the key in a Times Square ceremony. You see the mayor smiling there. September 2023. He now faces numerous accusations of assault and sexual abuse from
the indictment to CBS News New York, but it remains sealed, so it's unclear what charges Adams will face. It does make him the first sitting mayor in New York City history to be indicted.
Tonight we have live pictures outside City Hall there on the left and Gracie Mansion on the right. Relatively quiet at the moment, but a different scene expected in the coming days in both venues when the mayor will have to enter a plea to the charges.
We have team coverage here for you tonight at 11. Political reporter Marcia Kramer has been working the story all night. Let's begin with Allie Bauman live outside Gracie Mansion tonight. Allie, what's the scene there?
Well, Christina Maurice, in a taped video message sent through his attorney tonight, Mayor Adams is maintaining his innocence, though he doesn't specify what exactly he's being charged with. Adams said that he's been fighting injustices throughout his life and vowed to fight what he calls these injustices with every ounce of his strength and spirit.
It is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies.
In a video statement Wednesday night, Mayor Eric Adams says he will fight back against the federal criminal charges.
I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target. And a target I became.
Over the last few months, federal investigators have raided the homes and seized electronics from the mayor and many in his inner circle, including former NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban, who stepped down earlier this month.
So there's a traffic jam of investigations, subpoenas, searches, devices being seen. But this is the first thing we've seen that will actually result, we are told, in a charge being brought forth tomorrow.
Earlier Wednesday, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez became the most prominent Democrat to call for the mayor to resign, posting on social media, "The flood of resignations and vacancies are threatening government function. For the good of the city, he should resign." Adams shot back, penning in part for anyone who self-righteously claims people charged with serious crimes should not be in jail, to now say that the second black mayor of New York should resign because of rumors and innuendo is the height of hypocrisy. Wednesday, the outgoing school's chancellor insisted his decision to retire in the middle of the academic year this December was made before federal agents raided his home, which the 62-year-old shares with fiancée First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright and the home of his brother, Deputy Mayor for Public Safety Philip Banks.
David is my brother, and the Banks family are my family. I value Phil, who rose to the level of being the highest ranking person in charge of the police department, patrol force.
And tonight, the mayor is getting ahead of what's becoming a growing list of calls for his resignation, saying in the statement that he can understand why New Yorkers would be concerned that he can't continue to do the job while facing these accusations, but saying, quote, "New Yorkers elected me to lead this city, so, quote, lead it, I will."